Welcome to the Movie Vault. I'm Ben.
And I'm Zach.
Greed. It's a good thing.
Is it?
That's how you get where you want to go in life. You gotta be a little greedy.
Do the ends justify the means?
They do. That's gonna be my point about. No, I'm just kidding. The ends don't justify the means, and being greedy is bad. And there is no movie when I was thinking about greed, which has been studied in lots of movies. You can go back to the old Western that's about the evil oil tycoon who doesn't care about the town. He only cares about his profits. You could go back to the Bible where there's stories of kings who acted for their own desires and wants and did not care about the people, or even the people of Israel who wanted a king, and that was kind of greedy because they wanted to have a figurehead to look towards. But there was no movie that I felt like encapsulated the downfall of greed and the consequences it has in people's lives better than Joel and Ethan Coen's Fargo. There's a better one.
I think.
What way to steal my thunder, Zach, by the way. I built this up so much, and you're like undercutting our episode already by saying that I didn't pick the best one for this topic.
Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood.
Well, yes. Okay. That's a good one.
We've already reviewed it, though.
We have already
So
reviewed
this is the best one, maybe.
This is the best one that we haven't reviewed.
Yeah.
It does show the pitfalls of greed, although it allows the characters to, at least one of the characters, to enjoy a bit more success before he actually experiences his downfall.
Oh, yeah.
But that goes to show that not all consequences happen within the same time frame. So greed. Fargo is a movie about Jerry Lundergaard, an executive sales manager for a car dealership that his father-in-law, the stingy Wade Gustafson, owns. It's very important to understand the character of Jerry for the entire movie. This is a guy who is a loser in life. Let's be very honest. I don't know how he married into this family, but maybe it's because Wade Gustafson was looking for a son-in-law that could be easily controlled and manipulated. And his daughter also seemed a little dim-witted.
That's true.
I'm already like bullying these characters, but they kind of deserve it. And he has a small little family, but he wants more. He's not satisfied just selling cars. It's a grind. It's tough. He's having to, he's also not the most skilled salesman. He doesn't exude confidence.
Yes.
And that's kind of his main problem, actually.
Yes.
Is that he can't disguise the fact that he's really insecure. He struggles with self-confidence.
Yeah.
Those are all fine things as long as you can figure out a way to disguise them.
Mm-hmm.
That to show, like Wade probably has. If he has any insecurities, they are buried deep, deep down.
Yeah.
And his face of success has covered them up. So rather than thinking of he wants to do something risky to make money and kind of prove to people that I don't exactly know what his goal. He's desperate. He's desperate to make money at this point. We've missed all of the things that have led up to this in life, but we know that Jerry is desperate to have some sort of successful financial future, and he has this investment opportunity that Wade has kind of shut down. So instead, he goes for the good old fashioned have someone kidnap your wife and then make the father-in-law pay $1 million in ransom and then get a cut for it. Classic idea. And so it's extortion. He's trying to extort money from Wade, but indirectly. He doesn't want Wade to know that he is the mastermind behind this. Now, as you can imagine, a guy like Jerry Lundergaard, who, by the way, is played by William H. Macy, who, if you've seen in movies, is really good at playing this kind of character. The, slimy, not confident.
Whiz Kid
Donnie
or something?
Whiz Kid Donnie.
Whiz Kid.
He's in Boogie Nights. His most famous role is in the TV show Shameless, which I haven't watched, but I know is kind of like a wild kind of...
It's too many seasons.
Yeah, he plays just kind of like a weird father figure in that movie. But the point is, he's good at this, he's just a loser, but it's not a lovable loser, a hateable loser type character.
Like a
someone
Steve
who
Buscemi type?
No, that's different.
Okay.
Because same with Whiz Kid Donnie. He's a loser, but you also don't like him at all.
Yeah, from the movie Magnolia.
Yeah, from the movie Magnolia, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And so this is a hateable loser, which is always fun to have at the center of any movie.
It is fun.
And then we do have a lovable character, and that is Brainerd Police Chief Marge Gunderson, who's played by Frances McDormand. This was her breakout role. This is actually a lot of people's breakout roles.
Yeah,
it was William H. Macy's breakout role. It was the Coen Brothers breakout movie. Mm-hmm. It was a movie of breakouts. But naturally, Jerry has this plan all set up, but it immediately goes awry because the people that he's hired are Steve Buscemi, who plays...
He hired Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, he hired the actual actor Steve Buscemi. No, Carl Showalter, and then Gare Grimsrud. I'm trying to say that name. Gare is played by Peter Stormare. He doesn't have many lines. He speaks more with his actions than his words. And then Carl Showalter, played by Steve Buscemi, is described several times throughout the movie as the funny little guy. The funny-looking little guy.
Yep.
How does he look funny? Oh, I don't know. He's just funny-looking. He's just a funny-looking fella. And of course, the setting is important to this movie, as it's actually not set in Fargo. That's where the deal is made with Showalter and Grimsrud for this to happen. It's set in Minneapolis primarily, in the Twin Cities, and then also in Brainerd, Minnesota, I believe, which is, I think, in between en route to Fargo.
Yeah.
Frances McDormand is a Brainerd police officer, and the reason that she is needed is because Gare, who speaks more with his actions than words, immediately commits a triple homicide as soon as they meet any resistance, which is they were pulled over by the cops because Carl forgot the details. He forgot to actually put his registration on this stolen car.
Yeah.
And then there were some other passerbys who were witnesses who were chased down and also murdered. So that sets up the triple homicide. That sets up Marge Gunderson, Frances McDormand's character, investigating. She is the opposite of Jerry in that you could perceive her as not being very smart based on her kind of like lovable Minnesota sort of hominess, but she's actually extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
Except for a few social interactions.
Sure.
But she is actually extremely intelligent, and she has this great relationship with her husband Norm, who's just this like sweet guy.
I think the top comment on Letterboxd is, "I want what they have." Yeah,
who's just like, he doesn't seem to have as stressful of a job. He's like an artist. They're gonna have a kid. Everyone in the town kind of like knows them. The police force is kind of like everyone's friendly. But then she, without it even looking unnatural, is investigating a horrific execution style triple homicide.
Yeah.
Which the tone of the movie is just incredible.
It's
how
comedy.
All of these things are happening, and people, in the way that people are reacting to them, like seems believable, but also doesn't at the same time.
Yep.
And you're supposed to, I think, believe that somewhat the setting. This is like the Minnesota nice thing. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a face of politeness when the craziest stuff could be happening.
Yeah.
They still maintain that
Triple
face.
homicide, yeah.
Triple homicide, yeah. Oh, you betcha. Oh, yeah. And they assume the best in people, which I think is the point of the Mike Yanagita scene.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a curveball in the movie, where Marge is asked to get lunch or dinner with a former high school classmate who, it turns out, is trying to hit on her. But she wants to believe that he's just being friendly, even when it starts to go that way.
But
and then
really
she realizes
she's good at pushing it off.
that he actually has even more problems than she initially realized, which again is funny because you're like, this person's a detective. I think it's supposed to humanize her a little bit, show that she's vulnerable, just like all other characters, to unexpected things arising.
Yeah, she's willing to kind of give people the benefit of the doubt, like you said. And
so I feel like that sets up the movie.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Pretty well.
I think that was great. I just can't contain holding it off any longer. I love Steve Buscemi so much.
Maybe the greatest actor of our generation. No, I'm just kidding.
Didn't you say that about Willem Dafoe?
Yeah. I say that about all lovable, goofy-looking character actors, is that they're the greatest actor. Because, there's nobody who can do what Steve Buscemi does quite as well as he does it.
No, he's so unique. He has this rat-like character that he always plays, and he's always a horrible person who curses crazily, and
he's actually like a really nice guy in real life.
oh, I'm sure.
At least as far as you can tell from interviews.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's so good at portraying the like terrible character who is kind of. I mean, he's actually really he exudes confidence, but is really dumb.
Yeah.
He's different. He's different than Jerry, because Jerry is dumb and doesn't exude confidence.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, you can look at everyone on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Wade is more of the exudes confidence, not smart. The closest person to exuding confidence and being actually intelligent is Marge, but she is much more even-keeled and likable than like a Wade, who is overconfident.
And she's very pregnant. And so like you have the scene where she goes up to Gayer and
confronts him as he's
shredding Steve Buscemi, Carl Showalter, and she's pretty level-headed. She just puts her gun up, starts shooting, and he runs into the field. There's this famous scene, and so when you had said let's do Fargo, I was like, oh, I've already seen that. I think what I realized was I actually watched the first season of the show. Yeah. So I've seen the show. It's wonderful. It's with
I started watching that show and for some reason never finished it. And it's not because I didn't like it. I did like it.
It's with Martin Freeman.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And who's he has 3 names. The guy who plays like the evil character.
Yeah, I forget his name, but
it's not Tommy Lee Jones. It's somebody else.
No, it's not Tommy. It's so wonderful, that first season. I remember it vividly. And that, spoiler alert to that, so give it 2 seconds. 1, 2. In that, he kills his wife directly. So it
diverges from the plot.
Oh yeah, each scene is kind of a different take on the Fargo storyline, different events that happen just in the town of Fargo. He has a hammer. He's in the laundry room of his house.
This is early on.
Hits her in the head, and she dies. There's a hammer goes through her skull.
This is early on because I remember that part. Right, it happens early in the.
It happens in the first episode.
Yeah. So I do remember that. So it's different. Yeah.
And then it's about this like serial killer and him running away from him, and it's like a hitman. So it's a very different story than this. So, but there's a famous scene at the end of that first season that emulates this scene where he's running into the snow and just dies in the snow after getting shot, and that's when the murderer dies by the cop. So it still gets the same themes. I felt the same feelings watching it. I love the movie format much better for this show. I think the show dragged on a little bit. And again, I watched the show probably 6 or 7 years ago.
And this is a very brisk movie too. It's hour 37.
Yeah. Beautiful runtime. Very beautiful runtime.
Yeah. And it packs so much into the runtime. That's what I've always appreciated about the Coen Brothers. They can assemble these like pretty large casts.
Yeah.
And do so many things, but it not be like 2.5 hours. Because that's the difference between this and like Magnolia. That movie, huge ensemble cast, lasts forever, almost 3 hours. And it's great, but there's something to be said about it. I appreciate efficiency. I always have. Always been a big fan of efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about life, like you do have to go out of your way to watch a 3-hour film, whereas an hour and a half, you could there's probably at least one day in the week that you could fit an hour and a half movie in there. There might never be a 3-hour period that you have open the older you get.
Yeah.
You never know. So that's beside the point. I would say, so Frances McDormand, what she brings to the table, kind of like you said, is this really, really likable character who comes off as naive but is not necessarily naive. When the other guy, not Steve Buscemi, what's his name? I apologize. Mike Yanagita, Steve Park's character, goes and sits next to her. She immediately says, "No, I prefer it if you go over there." She says it in a strong-willed.
Yeah.
She's also so caring and loving to the people around her. Very nonchalant about the whole homicide thing. She has really she has it together. Like, she's not emotionally unavailable to her husband. She doesn't bring that crap home.
Yeah, that was the most impressive thing.
Yeah.
The last scene, I think, is supposed to represent that whole thing. Most people, it would be like insanely traumatic, but she is such a professional, has become such an expert at her job. She can take all of the stuff which in this job, it's not even the people you work with could be an issue, but it's all of the people that you're dealing with are like criminals. They're very erratic. You never know what to expect exactly. but she can kind of take it as it comes and then go home and be a great wife, and you feel like she's going to be a great mother. And they're gonna have a great little family, and that won't influence any of that. It won't be
their
like
kid will never be influenced by the stuff she has to deal with. I mean, he's like, I won this award for the drawing or whatever. And she's like, I'm so proud of you, honey.
You almost feel like it's intentional that they don't set up their relationship to where they're like talking about the triple hums, around the house.
She probably wants a whole separate life from that.
Yeah.
You don't want your life mingled in that, talking about that all the time. I'm
right.
sure that's just like healthcare. Not exactly. I'm sure
there's some similarities there.
Any job where you have to deal with other people's lives and it's a miserable.
But sometimes you have to step back and be like, we shouldn't talk about this right now.
Yeah.
And be like, we should talk about, like, we should focus on other things in our life.
Yeah.
There's a healthy level of separation. I mean, probably in any job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them, there's maybe clear from dealing with things that are traumatic or whatever standpoint more often than other jobs. But even your classic job as an accountant, there's going to be stress and stuff involved. In the business world. And you should have boundaries where you're like, we can't let this be like the only thing that you can't let it be the only thing that you're thinking about.
Yeah, for sure. Because then it also affects him and it drags everybody else down. So it's good to just have. I mean, she was really good at having a very distinct life and not bringing it to the table. And it's a different thing because this was a 1996 film, and the wife is the cop in this example, and she's the one, making money. She's the one kind of having to deal with the harder things and kind of making it easier for the husband. And like, it just kind of shows a whole different angle of it. And I think it actually continues that theme in the Fargo TV series, where it's also a female cop who I believe she finds out she's pregnant by the end of the season, but I don't believe it's inferred at the beginning. And she kind of just deals with it really well. And it kind of shows a good example of what a cop could be, maybe. And again, I'm not an expert. I don't know.
Right.
But it seems to me like that's a cool thing that they added. And it's like that's not even a necessary element of the film. It's not like a major part of the themes, but it's just a cool thing to appreciate in the Coen Brothers directing, even. Where I think of Good Time, where it's like, and in some ways they add things that aren't necessary to the script, like the whole underage girl thing in Good Time, like everything like that. Like, that's not necessary to the plot, but it adds context, it adds details. I'm not going to defend that, but there are some things that they do that add context and details.
But it's not just completely like, this is like, you can just like take a character and be like, well, we can make him this or this. It feels like each character is supposed to represent something that's underlying that you can see how people fall into or how people accomplish things that you're supposed to learn from. But you can also just watch the movie for the main plot, too.
Yeah.
So I think that's the kind of detail that we really appreciate is that, and that's why the Coen Brothers, a lot of their films reward multiple viewings because the first one you just get the plot, and then the second one you understand the characters more.
Exactly.
And then by the third one you're quoting every line with the Big Lebowski.
And I confused the Safdie brothers with the Coen Brothers, but I was saying like I meant to say with the Coen Brothers they add context to characters that has, I guess, purpose to it, where it's like the purpose of it doesn't necessarily propel the plot forward, but it definitely dives you into the characters. But it's also not a character film; it's a plot film,
right?
So I'm saying it kind of adds to this balancing between that. I don't know. It's just a little bit slightly more unique. It's not like groundbreaking.
Well, and I think the Coen Brothers are such a good duo to study because they are kind of formulaic in the sense that they had. From what I've heard, they write a script and it's very detailed and they pretty much stick exactly to it. They don't do any hiring people to do ad libs or they don't do anything. Once they have a really tight script and they have a plan and they follow through. And it leads to most of their movies being pretty interesting and good and you like them. Yeah. And they have a high output. And then they had two people to work on. And I think one of them got credited at the Oscars because they don't allow two directors. I don't know. I think it was Joel maybe. And the other one got credited as the writer or whatever. However they split it up.
Yeah.
And I think that they've since separated now, but I think they might be getting back together because they're independent. Their movies independent of each other have not been super successful. But they've never been trying to go for like huge box office hits necessarily. I mean, I know No Country for Old Men did good for a movie of its style, but they've known what their lane is. They're not trying to go necessarily. They're not trying to necessarily go beyond it.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of started with this stretch of films, with Miller's Crossing, which was the movie they did before this. And then with this one, which
there
really
was Barton Fink and the Hudsucker Proxy
in between. Okay.
Fargo.
Yeah, they were making like almost a movie a year for a while. I mean, I've watched Blood Simple, I've watched Miller's Crossing. I haven't seen Barton Fink or Hudsucker Proxy, but they were gaining momentum as like these like during this like popularization of independent movie making. And then Fargo was successful at the Oscars. Big Lebowski was actually not successful initially, which came right after this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take this cat off the shelf. It's not.
I'll keep talking while we discipline the cat. But Big Lebowski has gained a lot of momentum as a cult classic, and then Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is maybe another movie I would consider a cult classic. And that's what I'm talking about, the rewatchability. They know how to make a movie that people will keep wanting to come back to.
Didn't we do for our 5-year anniversary for the Movie Vault, or 100th episode, we did No Country for Old Men?
That was for the watching part. Yeah, for the watching part.
It was a rewatch for us.
Yeah, and some people, it was an interesting one with the group that we had.
We should have done Inland Empire.
Yeah, because people weren't used to the more existential ending of No Country for Old Men.
Sure. Yeah, people want it.
But that's more Cormac McCarthy's fault than the Coen Brothers.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, and you could probably interpret Cormac. You could probably go off of Cormac McCarthy's book and make a whole different ending if you wanted to.
But they've always been really good at the black comedy thing too, because even with No Country for Old Men, it's not really a comedy, but it still has that like darkness to it.
I mean, it's hilarious when he's like, he does the coin flip. I mean, and the scene with him in the gas station. It's
very darkly funny.
Yeah.
Very darkly funny. And then like movies like A Serious Man, I really like. And some people would probably hate that movie because it's just about a professor also in Minnesota and his like midlife crisis. But like they can take that and just run with it, make it super interesting.
Yeah.
And kind of existential and kind of makes you just think about philosophical things too. But yeah, they nail their formula. So that's what if you were ever to be like, the way to be successful as a director is to have like a really good plan of how you do things and a really good like method that you just kind of keep doing over and over again. Mm-hmm. But you can take different genres of movies because like Fargo is not really like Big Lebowski at all. No. They have completely different tones.
Yeah,
but you can see how the formula allows you to have the breathing room to do different
That's
things.
Probably good that they're kind
you got to be a good writer.
Well, they're a team. I mean, they can kind of balance each other out. Also, Fargo's North Dakota, not Minnesota.
Yeah.
But
so
but
they drive north. They drive to Fargo once in the movie, in
Minnesota,
and then the rest of the movie is basically in Minnesota.
Just for the clarity of the people listening.
Yeah, it is confusing because it's called Fargo.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's primarily set in Minnesota.
They get tied up into the whole,
I think there's like a
cross state lines.
I don't know that I'm mixing this up with the TV show, but I feel like the crime syndicate, like where Showalter and Gare are based, is Fargo. Or something like that. There's some tie. That's why he has to drive the car and drop it off in Fargo because that's where they're like located at.
Yeah. Well,
But it's not like they explore that a lot. It's just kind of like out there.
The source of the crime, I think Jerry Lundergaard was not in Fargo, right? And then she's the cop and comes in. So like Jerry Lundergaard is in a different area than Frances McDormand's character.
She's in Brainerd. Yeah, Brainerd, Minnesota.
And then she goes to Jerry out of town because she found the crime scene in her town. Yeah. So now she's part of this and she gets to go across state lines and kind of do stuff over there.
Is Brainerd in North Dakota? That's the part I was confused about.
I don't know. That's something I should have looked up. But Jerry
Brainerd is in Minnesota, so she is technically where the crime happened. We almost need a map.
Well, Jerry Lundergaard, his car thing is in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah. So here's Minneapolis. Right? Here's Brainerd.
He's literally looking at a map.
So they were driving through Brainerd and then Fargo somewhere over here. So I don't know whether so Jerry drives to Fargo, drops the car off to them, drives back. They drive down from Fargo, commit the crime in Minneapolis. Then they're driving through Brainerd when the crime happens. I don't know where they're going. Like I don't know where but presumably it's not far from Brainerd because she eventually finds them at the end.
Minnesota for me is the most forgettable state.
Really, the most forgettable, more forgettable than North Dakota?
Yeah, because at least I know there's a north and a south.
Because Minnesota, people forget, as actually kind of culturally, like it actually has some social influence. Like there's actually people who live there.
I know there are people who live there.
Like Minneapolis is a big city, and there's like, the Mayo Clinic is in Minnesota.
Well, I know that. And
it's like down here in Rochester, so there's like influence from that area.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, Fargo is more on the state line.
All I know about Minneapolis was the riots.
It's a perfect. Fargo is right here on the border.
Okay.
It's a perfect okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Do you think this movie put them on the map?
Put Fargo on the map?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean yes.
Yeah.
It definitely, the town Fargo gets mentioned a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. If it's not the biggest city in South Dakota, or in North Dakota, it's one of the biggest, which isn't saying a lot. There's not a lot of people who live in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So if you were kind of a geography buff, you might know about it, but otherwise, yeah, you probably wouldn't know about it.
So are there a lot of people that live in Minnesota?
Compared to North Dakota, yes.
Okay.
I think Minnesota would be I don't think it's as many people as Ohio.
Because Minneapolis is a large city.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty large.
I mean, all I know about Minneapolis was
there's
the George Floyd riots.
5 points.
To be honest, that's all I remember.
5.8 million people.
That's
so
a lot.
it's around the same as Wisconsin, but like half the population of Michigan.
So that's actually not that much.
No, because it's for as large as the state is by like geographically, most of the population's in the southern part, because any state where it gets that far north, there's not like many big cities. If anywhere in the United States, think about the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Not many people live up there. Not many people live in North Dakota.
So it's a bunch of free land.
It's a bunch of just that, yeah.
Not free, I mean.
Open
land,
land, lakes, forests, not as developed.
Like Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an Oregon-based town, though, right?
Washington,
okay.
which is pretty north, but the climate's a little bit, comparatively to some of those other,
a little bit warmer.
Is a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Not like warm, but warmer. We're not thinking about the brutal winters that you get up there, which they really wanted to highlight in this movie, because what can you do with this region that you can't do with a lot of other regions in the United States?
The accent and the snow.
The accent and the snow, yeah. And apparently, I was on Wikipedia. It said that the winter was actually like milder, so they had to go further north to do a lot of the filming.
I got some Twin Peaks vibes from this. I hate the word vibes, but I always use it. And
I
acknowledge it every time.
mean, there's some crossover of that. It's supposed to point out how like
these small town murders.
Yeah, like just because a town presents itself in a certain way doesn't mean the same evil isn't occurring.
You know what's very boring?
What?
When somebody gets murdered and the FBI comes in. I'm not talking about Twin Peaks FBI. I'm just saying like when these larger intelligence agencies or these larger police forces,
because they go, okay, let's have it. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to my headquarters.
Exactly. Like let's file this. But then if it's a small town, if it's
and there's like two people on the case.
Yeah, if it's Harry and who's the dumb guy from Twin Peaks?
Oh, it's not Al.
No, whatever.
Why do I forget?
Yeah, and then Andy and Harry, like that's fun. That's like Gravity Falls is another example of this. I think it takes a lot of aura from Twin Peaks.
Or if you're gonna bring an FBI agent, it has to be
Dale Cooper. Exactly.
Yeah, Dale Cooper.
But there's no besides one of my friends. I know you know which friend I'm referring to. Who reminds me of Dale Cooper. So
I do know which friend.
So. Yeah, I think there's something about small towns and like the agency of the case belongs in the hands of the few. It's like this hero story of like finally a cop gets to do something real interesting.
It feels like the bad guy could win too, because there's so few people on the case that it's like their intelligence versus it's not just like by sheer, we have way more people than you could ever go up against if you're like the agents. It's just like the sheer amount of people on the case you're gonna lose because you don't have the amount of people on the counter.
If the FBI comes in to investigate, it's probably because they did the whole thing. So they're cleaning up their own mess.
They're like, we know exactly what happened because we set it up. So we're gonna. Oh wow, how did we discover this?
So when it's a small town, there's a little bit more trust, and it's more personal too.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the show Cops, they're like, let me in the house. Some random person in the woods living in a shack, and they have a battering ram. Like that's a little bit less. That's interesting, but it's not like small town like, oh man, my neighbor Jeremy got murdered by this serial killer, and I'm here to solve the murder. You know, like that's much more interesting.
Yeah, it feels like the cops are truly like they have some
They're invested.
investment in the town.
Yeah.
Because think about even around a major metro, the cops don't live in the town that they serve.
Yeah, and this is what ruined it. Body cams.
Yeah.
Body cams, I think they're a necessary evil, but you don't get that in small town. There's not accountability. So they get to make their own decisions. It's not this corporate hierarchy that they must always follow with particular language.
It really allows for professional decision making or like critical thinking.
Well, allows a personality to come out. I think of a lot of cop interactions that I've had. It's like, all right, give me your licensure and registration. I only get pulled over. So give me your license and registration. Your blinker's out again. I got pulled over twice for this, and both warnings anyway. So it's like very corporate. It's like there's a script. But Harry and Andy are like, well, I don't know what's going on, Harry. It seems like there's a lot of creepy things in this town.
That's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're kind of dumb. Like they're probably not as efficient as an FBI agent. They're also not going to use like brutal force.
Yeah, they allow themselves to go to explore rabbit trails.
Yeah,
a lot more easily, and they love the donuts and coffee.
What's wrong with the coffee?
Yeah. What's wrong with liking the donuts and coffee?
Yeah.
What's wrong with liking getting some Hardee's? That was Francis McDormand in this movie. Got Hardee's. Yeah. You're like, this is like a normal person.
Yeah, or Dale Cooper saying, "I want black coffee. Black is a midnight summer's night or midnight." On a moonless night is what the
Harry Sheriff Truman. He's more of the donut guy. He loves the big spread. Yeah. He loves. They're not eating all those donuts. Yeah. There's like 4 people in the department. Yeah. But he loves the presentation. Yeah. That there's so many.
Yep. Their secretary really hypes up the donuts all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean that's not Fargo related, but it's Fargo adjacent because it's this small town, and it's just wonderful to see Frances McDormand's character explore it. And like if she's not the one to solve it, then nobody's going to solve this.
Yeah, that is the case.
There's there's not even Dale Cooper around to come and take charge. They haven't
consulted anyone else, which I guess you're right. Technically the crimes, other than the stolen car that went across state lines, it's pretty much within Minnesota that the crime's taking place. So they haven't like escalated it beyond the local authorities.
And this isn't like Sherlock and Moriarty where it's like a mind game. It's really an idiot, Jerry Lundergaard, who has one simple plan.
And then hires 2 more idiots.
Yeah.
And his father-in-law is an idiot, and everyone involved, or he's prideful.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I mean, he doesn't know that Jerry holds all the keys.
Yeah. I mean,
but he should have been, I mean, that's the thing. Nobody is really that intelligent in this group.
And it's clearly like he's a weasel. He's going to lose. You know how the story's going to play out. I think the stakes come in because she's super pregnant. I think that adds to the stakes. Otherwise, I wouldn't be super worried at all.
And maybe that was kind of the thinking there. Like, how do we make this plot more like now you're like worried because you're like, instead of it just being this random white guy that we don't care about.
Sure.
It's
look at you, Ben.
Lovely. I mean, we don't. There's enough of them. All right.
No, I agree. I'm saying like she's a very unique type of cop character, like really.
Right.
And she brings to the table a whole unique perspective.
No matter how cops were perceived in Minnesota after this movie came out, even those people probably still feel empathy for Frances McDormand's character. They're like, that's one of the good ones. That's a good. Well, they would say, oh yeah, that's one of the good ones. Yeah. Yeah, she's a good one.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, there's some bad apples out there. Yeah, but the Marge, she was a good. Yep, all cops, if they were all like Marge, gee, we wouldn't have any problems. No problems at all. So that's my impression of a Minnesota resident talking about cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talking about greed, I think it's just it just ties in with all the characters because Carl is greedy because he's a weasel who's trying to get all the money away from Gare. Gare's greed. I don't even know greed is the best way to. He's compulsive.
Yeah, well, kind of. He's annoyed. He had a lot of patience, I think, to wait to put him in the wood chipper.
Yeah, but he also is greedy in the sense that he's not going to compromise anything to lose his position.
True, and he would probably get the money after killing.
Even if it means he's putting there, like the triple homicide, maybe they had to kill maybe there was really no other way to get out of that situation from their perspective. But like it definitely puts a target on your back a lot more than it would have.
By the way, that scene where the wife falls down the stairs after having the shower curtain around her, I thought she died. Did you think that the first time you watched it?
I don't know that I thought she died, but I maybe thought she was more injured than she ended up being.
Yeah.
And the off-screen murder, she gets murdered.
Yeah. What was that about?
ceremoniously.
I mean, that's way different than the show.
But again, it shows he ran out of patience. She's not a good hostage. She's also not smart. Mm-hmm. If you know you're in a hostage situation, it's better to not yell and scream. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Like, it's unfortunate. It's not a good position to be in. Probably should be thinking about ways to escape. Can't assume anyone's going to rescue you. Yeah. But you got to be smart about it. You can't be annoying. That's the number one thing that you can't do.
Well, and Jerry just makes this big mess that a lot of people get killed by, and it's based in this greedy appetite to... And to be honest, the greed starts way before this movie. It starts with his bad investments, all of his lying about these fake cars that didn't exist, you know?
Yeah, he fits the used car salesman. He's completely dishonest. He's dishonest with the customers. He's dishonest with the people lending money. Mm-hmm. He's dishonest all the way around. And you were supposed to... The thing is, he would be someone who you're like, oh, I just feel bad for that guy. If you didn't know. This guy deserves every bit of what he's... He doesn't have... You can feel bad that he's not a self-confident person, but he has not done anything in his life to be so like...
Greedy, he's blinded. He becomes blinded because... Just think about... Sorry to interrupt. Think about that one scene where he's like, oh, how's your kid? And he's like, what? He didn't even remember his own son.
He has to block that part out because he has to be so selfish that he is not... I mean, he's clearly not thinking about the safety of his family because he's putting his wife in direct harm's way. But he's not thinking about how this is going to affect... It's almost like he's shocked when his son is like super torn up about his mom. He's like, oh, yeah. Like, oh, he'll be fine. Like, no empathy.
Just got to play the game.
Like, registering.
Yeah.
And the son cannot believe him because there's nothing in his life that his dad has done to deserve him just to make him believe when his dad's like, oh, you just got to play ball with these guys. You just like, he has never played ball with anyone in his life. Like I know the son did not believe a single word that his dad, he trusts his grandpa because his grandpa has actually backed up at least some of his pride, like to an extent. Yeah. Like he's been successful. Doesn't mean he's always treated people right or done the right thing, but he's backed up some of his confidence with showing that he can do it. Yeah. And the thing is with the investment thing that he doesn't really deserve more than a finder's fee. Mm-hmm. Like you can say, man, that's kind of, but from a business standpoint, all he did was found the investment. He has no capital to invest to actually contribute. So they are doing the right thing from a business standpoint, saying, we'll give you this finder's fee. Yeah. And if the only thing they could be doing is if he doesn't know anything about finder's fee and they're like lowballing him way like a lot on it, but which they could be doing, but you know, he thinks this was a great plan that he had, but it's not a good plan. Yeah. And he, you know, if he had the capital and he was an investor, then sure, he has an eye, he could find a good investment, but anybody who has the money to invest and studied a little bit could probably find good investments. Like it's not an insane skill. The harder part is having the capital, right?
Well, I just think greed blinds you. This is kind of the same thought, kind of. And I'm just thinking, like, what did he expect to happen? That his wife just returned safely?
Yes, that's what he but I'm actually saying, like, believed this.
But like, then who's actually benefiting outside of himself from?
Because he can't flaunt this money, right?
Yeah, he can't.
Because how would he all of a sudden?
I'm thinking he's in a lot of debt that he probably has to pay off because it seems like he's been lying for a while, and a lot of people are calling him asking for these records, the money, you know, stuff that's owed.
And he has pushed off the issues pretty much as far as he can.
Exactly.
It's a moment of reckoning is about to happen for him. So there's desperation. There's probably other things going on, and it's kind of nice that they just drop you in and you're like kind of figuring out like what has this guy gotten himself into.
Yeah. Sorry, my cat just went in my suitcase.
They love little small boxes.
Yeah. What is wrong with them?
Yeah. They're all about that.
Happy birthday to your cat, Millie.
Oh, yeah. Millie, our cat, is 1. She's normally around for our episodes, but we're in our like 72nd different location.
Yeah. And this is now my cat, Dominic, is here. We should set them up.
Yeah, we should.
Dominic's a street cat, though.
Yeah, I don't think they would get along. But Millie's spoiled. Yeah, I mean, he's probably spoiled now, but Millie was raised in she was raised in a location where there was other cats. She was socialized.
Yeah, mine
from
was
the moment
raised
she
Roman
was born.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he converted. Anyway, I'm just joking.
Roger Deakins
What?
shot. This is what I do. Anytime where you're like leading at something that I'm like, okay, this isn't going anywhere, I just start talking about the next thing and ignore the last thing that you said. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, it works well.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to put your foot down. Roger Deakins, I'm sure I do it too. I'm not trying to.
Roger Deakins.
This is where our Ben and Tim arc
I'm just
starts.
joking.
They were fighting. You could see it on the podcast. They started.
What are those videos, by the way? It's referring to Tim Dillon and Ben Avery.
That's
all the videos are like the moment that Ben Avery left the Tim Dillon podcast.
That particular channel is so funny because it's literally just like, so there's some truth to a lot of the videos, but it's like every possible bit of tension in any comedian's career, he like makes it into like this like hit piece.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's usually not as deep as he makes it.
No.
But there is something, like he did a lot of hit pieces on like Burt Kreischer, which I think were like somewhat deserved.
Sure.
But also I'm like, this is not how these comedians are, the people in this world are thinking about these things. Like you're reading like way deeper into this.
It really doesn't matter.
That actually, yeah. And yeah, sure, Burt Kreischer's not talented, but it's not all about talent.
No.
He has one good joke.
No.
The Machine.
Look at Mr. Beast.
And no, yeah, he's literally like paying poor people to like stay in airplanes now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not talented.
Yeah,
he's good with money management.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
That's my interpretation of him.
No, I agree. And now it's just like, can you stay on a square and, eat mint leaves for 60 days and then I'll pay you. Like that's all his videos are now.
Yeah, it's like who can cut off their limbs the first? I'll give them $1 million.
You ever seen the Meat Canyon Mr. Beast video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
Well,
I'll just leave you. I won't go into that. But yeah, watch the Meat Canyon video.
Francis McDormand.
Yeah,
I'm just doing what you did.
You are.
Who is the guy you said?
Who is the best Meat Canyon? The animator.
No, I know him. He does stuff with he does the Creepcast.
Yeah.
With the other guy, like. Anyway.
Best actor in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Francis McDormand.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a three-way race between the three breakout stars: Francis McDormand,
William H.
Macy, Steve Buscemi. I think McDormand, she's the heart of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
William H. Macy, they're equal parts of the slime of the movie. Mm-hmm. You need all of the parts for it to work super well. But I think, it's fair if you were going to say Frances McDormand was like the best, because I think she adds another layer to this film.
So apparently in 1998, the AFI, the American Film Institute, put this in the top 100 films in history, American films. And then they took it out in 2006. Isn't that interesting?
Do you think it's... Sometimes I feel like they do the thing where they're like, this is the best Coen Brothers movie, so we'll include it. And then there's another one they think is better, and then they just take this one out.
I don't know.
I bumped this 1.5 star up, so it's 4.5 star film for me. The Coen Brothers is because they're so consistent. I always struggle. I think No Country for Old Men is probably still my favorite, but it's by a narrower margin than it was.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
I love Fargo. I love what was the one I was just
Serious Man?
Serious Man. And I love The Big Lebowski. Big Lebowski, honestly, is the one that's like probably closest to overtaking because it's so funny. It's so funny. Maybe one of the funniest movies ever.
So it's now in the National Film Registry. So at least it has some type of national recognition.
Yeah.
It'll probably go down as, like, critically, either their best film or second best film.
Yeah.
In the top two.
I think it's arguably the first, when you say the Coen Brothers, Fargo is probably most people's the first movie they think of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it being their breakout helps with that. A lot of times, you think of Pulp Fiction, or you think of whatever movie was like the first one, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And then you go back and watch the other
Memento
ones.
came out before that.
Yeah, but like
big one
for Nolan, it was like his breakout.
I forgot his careers combined with box office.
Yeah. And breakout means different things. You could say Miller's Crossing was their breakout because it was more successful than their other films. But like, we know from a commercial standpoint and their name recognition, this is when people started really tough.
What about a Fargo 2?
I love for them to just take these like it's like Pulp Fiction 2.
Yeah.
It's like stupid like movies that like shouldn't have a sequel at all. But
if only IP wasn't like so strict and like these low budget movie making people could make like a whole different studio makes like a Pulp Fiction 2 and it's like with these low budget actors and it's just like a comedy spoof where they continue the story.
Am I crazy? Do you think Peter Stormare looked like Ryan Gosling a little bit in this movie? He had like the bleach blonde hair. He's like heavier set, but
I absolutely did not see that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm really stretching with that one.
Yeah,
but
Ryan Gosling.
Just very particular. Maybe it's a particular Ryan Gosling. Place Beyond the Pines. Ryan Gosling, but Ryan Gosling is more fit and more like traditionally good. I mean, he doesn't look like him now.
I don't know, Ben. Look at him. This is the one from the
movie. He looks like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Yeah, he looks way more like Bruce Willis than Ryan Gosling. Yeah,
he doesn't.
I don't see Ryan Gosling like at all.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot more Bruce Willis.
Like if I went in ChatGPT and said, "Give me the anti Ryan Gosling," and it might.
I don't think it would be the anti Ryan Gosling.
I think it'd be anti.
Okay, whatever. Sorry, that was a stretch.
Yeah, I think Whoopi Goldberg looks like
best movie.
Shrek.
Best movie about set in Minnesota ever. I'm gonna look up the other movies set in Minnesota. What's the best movie actually set in Ohio, not filmed in Ohio?
Stranger Than Paradise.
Stranger Than. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Jim Jarmusch.
That's a good one. There's not many movies. Like there's been several movies filmed here. I mean Shawshank.
Les Wexner documentary.
But like, but movies that like the people actually live in Ohio.
What about this Ohio State documentary where terrible things happen?
It's
very popular.
That would be so sad if that's the best one. But yeah, it could be. Could be. I mean, it could be very well made.
No, I think it's Jarmusch's Stranger Than Paradise.
Yeah, that's a good one. Isn't
it
a good majority
was it
of it.
Friday the 13th that was set in Cleveland?
No, that's New Jersey.
Okay.
It has Stanhope, New Jersey in it, though. That was why I was so happy about it. The Mighty Ducks, Serious Man, Jennifer's Body. Yeah, it's probably the best one. Grumpy Old Man. That's probably.
I have a list on Letterboxd.
You know, Prince is from Minnesota.
I did not know that.
Mallrats is set in Minnesota. Mallrats is set in like New Jersey.
No, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street is set in Cleveland.
Oh, that's a good one.
I literally have a Letterboxd.
Heathers is probably my favorite.
Heathers is also Cleveland.
It's not Cleveland. I think it's a pretend town in Ohio. I would imagine though that they were thinking like Cleveland suburbs.
So Heathers takes the cake then.
Yeah, Heathers is probably my favorite.
I have it. So I literally have films that take place in Ohio ranked.
There's 3. That's so sad.
By the way,
our state is so boring.
No, it's not boring. By the way, we've gone up in popularity because of all the memes.
That's true. It became such a. It's so much the epitome of American suburban life in Ohio. I want to say.
Well, it's like
that it became a stereotype to the point that it became a meme, and now it's not. Now it's a unique part of.
Now
Ohio.
we lead the charge in the Midwestern states, but I'll say, Ohio is like the etc. state. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a miscellaneous state. It has
our friend Shaz is moving back to Philadelphia, and I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, all my friends are like, why would you even like Columbus?" And being from Columbus, I'm like, man, there's so many like things the city has to offer. But then I'm like, I've never lived in Philadelphia or New York or cities that truly are like large metropolises, not just like in the U.S. we're so used to the 2 million suburban area. Metropolis that's like kind of an outsized small town. I mean, Columbus has expanded a lot, but it's only suburban expansion. And then everywhere has a facelifted downtown, but we all know it's like 3 things that are cool, maybe. And you know the best things are like, oh, you know, the zoo and like stuff that every other city has. Yeah, like they're not that cool, but. I've been going back and watching more geography. I go through these phases on YouTube where I watch geography movies or videos, and a lot of people value like just like peace and quiet and just like a place to raise a family.
I think Black Widow took place in Ohio.
You're right. Yeah, I think it did.
I should put that on the list.
You should put that on the list. Probably number 1. But yeah, and that's what Ohio has to offer. A lot of places that are just like not that bad, and there's space, and it's lower cost of living than a lot of bigger cities.
Where does A Requiem for a Dream take place?
That's New York, right?
Never mind.
Or New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, anyway, I do have to get to a mowing in about a half hour.
All right. So any closing thoughts?
It would be fun to do more Coen Brothers films, specifically like their combo. I mean, I know their solo careers have some awesome films.
I think you could almost split them up. Like I would ideally want to eventually split up Hitchcock, where you go through like the different eras. You like start with like obviously we've done a few of them, but that's okay because we can skip over. Just say go back and listen to because they have plenty in their early eras that are good, and then they kind of have this era where it's like Hudsucker Proxy this, and then Big Lebowski and Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and then they go into the No Country for Old Men, and then there's Inside Llewyn Davis, and there's a lot. Yeah, they have a lot. You could almost split it into like 3 eras.
Yeah,
and then maybe they're starting a new one.
Yeah,
if they get back together.
Frances McDormand, I have not seen any other films with her.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Nomadland.
That's her?
Yeah.
Well, okay. A little disappointed.
But that wasn't her fault.
That's Chloe Zhao's fault.
It's just a boring movie.
Yeah, like
that people try to really
convince.
People try to really convince you was like a really interesting movie. But I don't. It
won the best picture, right?
Yeah, but it was okay.
Go listen to that episode. That's back in 2020.
It's more of a like. Do you care that the movie is basically like a documentary, but it's like about a fake person? Yeah, like that's basically what that movie is.
I think the themes just didn't vibe with me well.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
Yeah, it didn't lock you in.
Like national identity is such a pastime in this, and I get like that's the whole point of the film is like your national identity doesn't matter. Like your personal identity is the one that matters. Like I don't even vibe with that. Like I do think there's some tribal.
We wouldn't have spent this much time talking about Ohio if we didn't care at all.
We are pro Ohio.
Yeah, even people, they have so much conflict with each other, but then they're like, we're both from Ohio, like, and they might have conflict from a different standpoint, but
it's like I hate you.
I'm
gonna kill you.
People need like unifying things to be like.
It could be anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
You chew 5 gum? Yeah, me too.
Okay. Wow, we're like the same.
All right, Confederates and Union, they're fine. They don't kill each other anymore.
Yeah,
Civil War's over.
That's so true.
That could be a 5 gum commercial.
That's an argument for the oligarchy because it unifies people. It doesn't matter. There's Republicans and Democrats who are both Team Marvel and both Team DC, and they agree about that. So
yeah,
I think that's where like corporatization is the great equalizer. So that's awesome.
Movies bring people together.
Yep, movies are the great equalizer.
Well, I only have, I believe, you said the Toxic Avenger in the news episode.
I have a couple.
Okay, well, I watched the 3rd Pirates of the Caribbean. It was so good. So I rewatched. I might have said this in the last one, but Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Requiem for a Dream. I don't know if I've said those since. So I watched all those. It was great. Superman, of course. Fargo. Bicentennial Man is a Robin Williams film. Never heard of it. I watched it. It was great. 3.5 stars. I mean, people don't. I rated it higher than what it is. I enjoyed it a lot more than what the critical acclaim was for it. It was really long film.
It's fun sometimes though.
It's philosophical too. It's like this robot that kind of over time makes himself more human, like physically. Like he adds heart over time. He adds physical features, and science gets him to the point where it's like. He's indistinguishable from a human. I mean, we're getting to this point, by the way. It's like this movie is really relevant today. And then he has to like legally become a human, and it's like a whole process. It's a weird movie.
That reminds me of something else. Probably some sci-fi thing that I read. Permanent Vacation. Oh, it's from one of those Asimov iRobot short stories. It reminds me of. It's. Nice. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he influenced that.
Yeah.
I watched Permanent Vacation, Jim Jarmusch's first film.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a student film, something like that. It's only like an hour. It's about this guy with PTSD who walks through like Brooklyn and sort of has a little bit of a merge of reality versus fantasy and conversates with different people. It's interesting. Toxic Avenger, classic. It's gross. It's a gross movie, but intentionally. And it's about a hero. He's a flawed hero. He's a rags to riches hero. But it's so goofy, so over the top, so insanely like it's one of those. It's not even it's so bad it's good. I think it is good, but like in such a like bad way. I don't even know. It's so Trauma. They made so many like B movies that were just like not even artistically interesting at all. But this one I feel like stands apart from what other things that they did. So if you're into that at all, you would like it. If you're not, you probably wouldn't. And then I watched Superman, which we talked about, which we're going to talk about in more depth.
Yep. Listen to our movie news segment. Well, good. Well, with that, Do you have any extra?
No. Let's close the vault.
All right. Well, let's close the vault. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it as good as you.
Oh, geez. It won't close.